Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Track Candy. Now, y'all know a brother a little bit late when it comes to certain things, because if my off day doesn't fall on a day that I could actually do some recording, hey, man, we just gonna have to wait a little bit longer, man. Y'all know how it is when a brother working. But let's just start off, man. Happy New Year's. It is time for a Prodigy, Star Trek Prodigy review. And already you guys should know how I feel about it because a brother is rocking the Trek uniform. It's been a long time since a brother been able to put on the Trek uniform, partly because I couldn't figure out where it was, quartermaster be tripping sometimes, and your quartermaster be tripping. So this episode of Prodigy, Kobayashi. Now, there's been a lot of focus on the Kobayashi Maru from the original series. That particular test that tests the character of a person. It tests the no-win situation, how you will accept that psychologically, how you are able to accept loss and things like that. Now, there's been a lot of diving into the Kobayashi Maru in New Trek, in an episode of Discovery, in this called Kobayashi Maru, and in this particular episode of Prodigy called Kobayashi. Now, off the bat, let's talk about what the Kobayashi Maru is. Of course, everybody knows that the Kobayashi Maru is a Starfleet Academy test designed to basically put you in a no-win scenario, trying to protect the lives aboard the USS Kobayashi Maru. Now, the only person who has successfully and canon defeated the Kobayashi Maru was none other than Captain James Tiberius Kirk. All right, in which case he cheated by reprogramming the test, thereby allowing him to win. They went into a little bit of a reverse, or how Kirk got in trouble with that in the movie Star Trek in the Kelvin timeline, whatever. Don't nobody mention that on this show, but it is part of canon, so I had to time and mention it. So in this episode of Prodigy, what's going on is that the bunch of merry misfits discovered a holiday, and they discovered this test called the Kobayashi Maru. Now, the play captain, I always forget what his name is, and I'm gonna put it somewhere. This guy, he decides that he wants to, jump in it and see what's going on, and try this test out, test his captainness, because you know how he is about wanting to be captain of the vessel and being accepted as captain of the vessel. Now, the great thing about this episode is you have episodes that pay homage to prior Trek. You have episodes that have Easter eggs, they go into it. You have, episodes that pay actual tribute to prior episodes. And an example of the actual tribute to that would be Trials and Tribulations from Deep Space Nine. In that episode, they paid tribute to old classic Trek. Now, in this episode, they it was another great example of a tribute episode. So basically what's going on, like I said, was they was going to this Kobayashi Maru, and he he asked the computer basically, hey, wait, hold up. Y'all hear that, right? I'm trying to middle of my video, man. In the middle of the video, man, they want to try to do that. It's probably important. Is it more important than my Star Trek video? I don't know, man. Y'all tell me, man. But anyway, down. So check it out, right? So where was I, man? Cops kind of throw a brother off. They throw a brother off. We're allergic to him. So what happened? Oh yeah. So he decides that he's gonna ask the computer to pick him a crew, the best crew from each one of those particular stations, and the first person that pops up was none other than Lieutenant Uhura at Ops. All right. Next, we had Odo pop up. Man, we had uh, uh, let's see, Odo pop up. Dr. Beverly Crusher made an appearance. Man, look. Let me tell you something. This episode was just so Nice. This was a nice episode, man. Just how they incorporated all of these old characters. And I don't know if you guys noticed, they wasn't using a voice box, man. They wasn't using a voice actor. They were using actual voice and audio footage from old Trek. You know what I mean? Like when Spock was talking, there was times where I was like, "Oh man, I know what episode that sentence is from, or I know what episode that phrase is from." You know, I mean, it was just look. Let me tell you something. Now, another thing that's going on is we find out a little bit more about the Prometheus drive, um, and why this dude right here is after this ship. Now, the third nacelle, since this ship doesn't work on traditional warp technology, I can't really comment as far as the productiveness of the third nacelle in a secondary hull. Besides the fact that it looks cool. Oh yeah, Prodigy got the coolest opening ever, man. I love Prodigy's opening. Now they mentioned a few things in this episode. You know, by the way, the TMG bridge. Who else clapped when that appeared? Who else felt a little bit of giddiness when that appeared? You know, even before the characters popped up. And they brung the TNG OG bridge onto the oh man, come on, look. So let's talk about you know, some of the references that they had up in here. Um the reference from the game, the eye game that he was wearing, you know, this right here. And one day I'm gonna have to do a video on this episode because I think that this would have been an outstanding way for them to take over the Federation if it hadn't been for that pesky data. It's always data, you know what I'm saying? It's always data. But you know, so the game from the episode, the game, you know, it's cool how they made that reference up in there. Um the Caliphate, Gladius, you know, the Caliphate isn't a gladiatorial match. The Caliphate is a tournament to see who gonna get the wife. That's a tournament. That's a fight to the death to see who gonna get the girl. Okay, I don't know why they was trying to be PC nowadays, but Spock, you know, endured. Spock went into the Caliphate historically and famously with Kirk during the episode of Mock Time. So I don't know what they was talking about the Caliphate as a gladiatorial games. You know, they don't even seem right when talking about the Vulcan homeworld anyway. Now, the Medusan hive mind. We all know that Medusans are telepathic, but it's never been shown in canon or even talked about in canon. Even with that one episode that they actually showed the Medusan in the TOS, that they had a hive mind. So I wonder, is that something that they're trying to expand upon the mythos? Because again, Medusans, we only know a very small amount about them because of their scarcity in Trek canon. So I wonder if this is their way of expanding the canon, excuse me, when it comes to the Medusan. So, you know, and if it is, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if it's not something that's always already been established in canon and you uh, include something new, a new idea, a new direction you want to go, I have no problem with that. Just make something that, you know, something that's coherent and a good story. Now, they was talking about the neutral zone, and they were talking about um, the Klingons, you know, the buffer between the Klingon and Federation being as far as the neutral zone. Now, a lot of you guys gonna probably think that that's inaccurate, but it's very accurate. The Klingons were very involved in the neutral zone, and let me tell you why. During the TOS and events before those, or during the Khitomer Accords, the where the establishment in the neutral zone, I mean, the Treaty of Algeron, where the establishment of the neutral zone happened, um, the Romulans and the Klingons were allies. You guys probably didn't know that because of how the Klingons and Romulan relationship was in the Next Generation. But before the Next Generation, in the original series and stuff like that, the Klingons and the Romulans were allies against the Federation, and that buffer included the Klingons as well. Not only the Romulans, but the Klingons as well. Think about the cloaking technology. All right, for a moment, for a time, they were based on the same type of technology because they were allies and they shared that technology until they became not allies, and there were minor differences between the cloaking technology. Where I think that the Romulan cloaking is well, I think that the Klingon cloaking is slightly more advanced than the Romulan cloaking. And the reason that I say that, because y'all probably be reason I say that is because remember that episode where Picard was on a ship and he convinced, I think it was called the Defector or something like that, and they crossed into the neutral zone under that erroneous information from that admiral that was all set up by the Romulans, and the Enterprise got confronted by two Romulan warbirds, and all during the time they were going through Romulans, the neutral space, and all this time, they never was able to pick up those Klingon bird of prey that was accompanying the Enterprise. They scared to mess out the Romulans just as much as any other, you know. So if the cloaking technology wasn't as advanced or more so, they would have been able to pick up those birds of prey. So that's why I say what I say. Now, overall, this episode was great. It was a great tribute, man. It was not. It was a great tribute. This was a great tribute to old Trek, classic Trek. You know, to me, new Trek. I know to y'all might be old Trek now. You know, Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, stuff like that. That's new Trek to me. You know, so man, I really liked it. You guys check it out. Tell me what you guys thought of the episode in the notes. I mean, in the comments and everything. Sorry it took me a minute to get to the video, but you know, brother had to work. I don't know what's up with this man working. It's evil. It's evil. But paycheck day is all right. Paycheck day is anyway. So please subscribe if you guys haven't. Ring the bell for any future content. And as always, peace, recycle, and say the whales. You guys be cool.